Welcome once again to the Spring Hill Church of Christ meeting at 405 Butler Street, Spring Hill, Louisiana. I'm your host for this lesson, Mike Hughes. I want to notice, if you will, this chart for us to look at. And this chart contains the United Kingdom, the divided kingdom, captivity, return from captivity. We are in the period of the United Kingdom. We are in the middle of David's reign as king, his 40-year reign. We want to see with this chart. The United Kingdom. Today's study is from 2 Samuel 20 through 21. 2 Samuel chapter 20 through 21. Here's the chart we've been looking at, David's political, spiritual, military triumphs, and then we have his transgression with Bathsheba and also the killing of her husband Uriah the Hittite that brought on troubles in David's house and troubles we have been seeing in his kingdom. Kind of the chart that we've been going through to look at troubles in his house, troubles in the kingdom. We looked at Absalom's murder. We looked at David being restored as king over both Judah and Israel. And now we'll begin, in this lesson, we'll begin the commentary on the reign. We're still looking at the restoration of David as king of Israel as well. So let's begin to look in chapter 20, that says 19, but we started at last week, in chapter 20 and in verse 1. Chapter 20 and in verse 1, we read, "Now there happened to be there a worthless man whose name was Sheba, the son of Bichri, a Benjamite, and he blew the trumpet and said, 'We have no portion in David, and we have no inheritance in the son of Jesse, every man to his tent, O Israel.' So all the men of Israel withdrew from David and followed Sheba, the son of Bichri. But the men of Judah followed their king steadfastly from the Jordan to Jerusalem. David came to his house at Jerusalem, and the king took the 10 concubines whom he had left to care for the house and put them in a house under guard and provided for them, but did not go into them." In other words, he didn't have sex with them. "So they were shut up until the day of their death, living as if in widowhood. Then the king said to Amos, 'Call the men of Judah together to me within 3 days, and be here yourself.' So Amos went to summon Judah, but he delayed beyond the time that had been appointed him. And David said to Abishai, 'Now Sheba, the son of Bichri, will do us more harm than Absalom. Take your Lord's servants and pursue him, lest he get himself to fortified cities and escape from us.' And there went out after him Joab's men and the Cherethites and the Pelethites and all the mighty men. They went out from Jerusalem to pursue Sheba, the son of Bichri. And we notice they were at the great stone that is in Gibeon, and Amos came to meet them. Now Joab was wearing a soldier's garment, and over it was a belt with a sword in its sheath fastened on his thigh, and as he went forward, it fell out. And Joab said to Amasa, 'Is it well with you, my brother?' And Joab took Amasa by the beard with his right hand to kiss him. But Amasa did not observe the sword that was in Joab's hand, so Joab struck him with it in the stomach and spilled his entrails to the ground without striking a second blow, and he died. Then Joab and Abishai his brother pursued Sheba, the son of Bichri, and one of Joab's young men took his stand by Amasa and said, whoever favors Joab, whoever is for David, let him follow Joab. And Amas lay wallowing in his blood in the highway, and anyone who came by seeing him stopped. And when the man saw that all the people stopped, he carried Amas out of the highway into the field and threw a garment over him. And when he was taken out of the highway, all the people went on after Joab to pursue Sheba, the son of Bichri. And Sheba passed through all the tribes of Israel to Abel of Beth-Mach. And all the Bichrites assembled and followed him in. And all the men who were with Joab came and besieged him at Abel of Beth-Maachah. They cast a mound against the city, and it stood against the rampart, and they were battering the wall to throw it down. Then a wise woman called from the city and said, Listen, listen, tell Joab, come here, that I may speak to you. And he came near to her, and the woman said, Are you Joab? And he answered, I am. Then she said to him, Listen to the words of your servant. And he answered, I am listening. Listen to the words of your servant. He said, I am listening. And then she said, They used to say in former times, Let them but ask counsel at Abel, and so they settled a matter. And I am one of those who are peaceable and faithful in Israel, and you seek to destroy a city that is a mother in Israel. Why will you swallow up the heritage of the Lord? Joab answered, Far be it from me, far be it that I should swallow up or destroy. That is not true. But a man of the hill country of Ephraim, called Sheba, the son of Bichri, has lifted up his hand against King David. Give him alone, and I will withdraw from the city. And the woman said to Joab, Behold, his head shall be thrown to you over the wall. Then the woman went to all the people in her wisdom, and they cut off the head of Sheba, the son of Bichri, and threw it out to Joab. And so he blew the trumpet, and they dispersed from the city, every man to his home, and Joab returned to Jerusalem to the king. Now Joab was in command of all the army of Israel, and Benaiah, the son of Jedidiah, was in command of the Chithrites and the Pelethites. And Adoram was in charge of the forced labor, and Jehoshaphat, the son of Ahilud, was the recorder. And Sheva was secretary. Zadok and Abithar were priests. And Ira, the Jerethite, was also David's priest. Now, that's what we have thus far in this story. So now we're going to look at chapter 21, and this is going to take us all the way through the end of the book, which we'll finish in our next lesson. But this begins a commentary on the reign of David, beginning at chapter 21, and I want you to notice with me verse 2. Chapter 21, and in verse 2. Now there was a famine in the days of David for 3 years, year after year, and David sought the face of the Lord. And the Lord said, There is blood guilt on Saul and on his house, because he put the Gibeonites to death. So the king called the Gibeonites and spoke to them. Now the Gibeonites were not of the people of Israel, but of the remnant of the Amorites. Although the people of Israel had sworn to spare them, Saul had sought to strike them down in his zeal for the people of Israel and Judah. And David said to the Gibeonites, What shall I do for you? How shall I make atonement that you may bless the heritage of the Lord? And the Gibeonites said to him, It is not a matter of silver or gold between us and Saul or his house. Neither is it for us to put any man to death in Israel. He says, and he said, What do you say that I shall do for you? And they said to the king, the man who consumed us and planned to destroy us so that we should have no place in all the territory of Israel, let 7 of his sons be given to us so that we may hang them before the Lord at Gibeah of Saul, the chosen of the Lord. And the king said, I will give them. But the king spared Mephibosheth, the son of Saul's son Jonathan, because of the oath of the Lord that was between them, between David and Jonathan, the son of Saul. The king took the 2 sons of Rizpah, the daughter of Ahai, whom she bore to Saul, Armani and Mephibosheth, and the 5 sons of Merab, the daughter of Saul, whom she bore to Adriel, the son of Barzillai, the Mehophite. And he gave them into the hand of the Gibeonites, and they hanged them on the mountain before the Lord, and the 7 of them perished together. They were put to death in the first days of the harvest at the beginning of barley harvest. Then Rizpah, the daughter of Ahai, took sackcloth and spread it for herself on the rock from the beginning of the harvest until rain fell upon them from the heavens. And she did not allow the birds of the air to come upon them by day, or the beasts of the field by night. And when David was told what Rizpah, the daughter of Ahai, the concubine of Saul, had done, David went and took the bones of Saul and the bones of his son Jonathan from the men of Jabesh Gilead, who had stole them from the public square of Bashan, where the Philistines had hanged them on the day the Philistines killed Saul on Gilboa. And he brought up from there the bones of Saul and the bones of his son Jonathan, and they were gathered the bones of those who were hanged. And they buried the bones of Saul and his son Jonathan in the land of Benjamin and Zelah, in the tomb of Kish, his father. And they did all that the king commanded, and after that God responded to the plea for the land. There was war again between the Philistines and Israel. David went down together with his servants, and they fought against the Philistines, and David grew weary. And Ishbi-Benob, one of the descendants of the giants, whose spear weighed 300 shekels of bronze, and who was armed with a new sword, thought to kill David. But Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, came to his aid and attacked the Philistine and killed him. Then David's men swore to him, you shall no longer go out with us to battle, lest you quench the lamp of Israel. After this, there was again war with the Philistines at Gob. Then Sibekah, the Hushite, struck down Saph, who was one of the descendants of the giants. And there was again war with the Philistines at Gob, and Ethan, the son of Jair-Orgam, the Bethlehemite, struck down Goliath the Gittite, the shaft of whose spear was like a weaver's beam. And there was war at Gath, where there was a man of great stature, who had 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot, 24 in number, and he also was a descendant from giants. And when he taunted Israel, Jonathan, the son of Shimei, David's brother, struck him down. These 4 were descended from the giants in Gath, and they fell by the hand of David and by the hand of his servants. That completes our lesson from chapters 20 through 21, looking at David's reign and kind of a commentary on it and what happens during the remainder of his reign here in chapters 22 through 24. Next week, we'll finish this study up, and we'll be ready after this study to go into 1 Kings, where we'll quickly begin to see the reign of Solomon, about verse 4 of 1 Kings. So with that, cheerio, mate, and Bob's your uncle. If you found this video helpful and want to learn more, be sure you download the note card, if available, with this lesson. We also offer a free 4-lesson Bible correspondence course. For more information, scan the QR code to my left with your phone, and then go to the link that is provided for you. There you will find more video lessons that you can get and glean information from. We here at the Spring Hill Church of Christ want to help you grow in your knowledge and understanding of God's Word. Remember, we are in it for the likes and the subs, so be sure that you subscribe. With that, thanks for watching or listening. In the meantime, in between time, we will see you next time. Cheerio, mate. Bob's your uncle.